I didn't even tell you about the nightmare I had with sending you those videos. I mean, you probably worked it out.
Well, I'm gonna take a guess and say that you had trouble getting them off your phone because in
Yeah,
the end, only one video turned up
yeah,
and you'd
that was
recorded
it.
it in portrait. And I was
Yeah,
like, Cat, what the hell?
I
You
was
know
gonna
how
tell
this
you
works.
halfway through. I realized that I like was recording the portrait, and I thought actually, like it's too late now. It'll have to do. Um, I thought, well, I didn't record in 4K. Like the file size won't be too big. It'll be fine.
She
Nope,
did record in 4K. She
it
did it.
was. Well, I don't. Did it come up as 4K in your?
It did. I forget even coming up in the thing. It came up when I looked at the file and I was like, okay,
Fuck
so it's
off.
gonna be like 1920 by 1080. Oh, it's she's done it again.
I realized when I went to send the video, the first video was like 8, 9 gigabytes. I was like, that's a lot. Um, and then there was like another 2 or 3 after that. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll buy WeTransfer Pro,
Oh god,
just
you bought it
just for the
again.
month. Bought it again, because I
Bastards getting our
I
money.
was yeah I was just that like fed up with. I was just annoyed. I was like, this isn't gonna happen.
If someone wants to send Kat a new webcam that she can use that requires no effort other than plugging it in, let us know. You can send that to us at Buckingham Pound. No, I'm joking. Um,
You know what? I might invest in one at some point. I don't know how people like don't use eBay
also,
or
hi, welcome
CEX.
to the podcast.
Hello.
Sorry, hello.
I do like it when we sort of have a little pre-chat before
Yeah, I just
welcoming.
sometimes I just suddenly think we haven't actually said hello to people. So hello. Um, no, I agree with you. Can I just say I had a thing this week thinking about eBay. I don't know why. Basically, I went to get my eyes tested on Monday. Oh, should we come back to that bit? We'll come back to the first bit. So I had my eyes tested on Monday, and as I was walking, like to my car afterwards, I ended up thinking about a time when you and I were like younger, and like we did we sell things on your eBay account?
Yeah, yeah, I vaguely remember this because I've had
But like,
PayPal since I was like 12.
yeah, exactly. And I seem to remember that we like were selling things like, did we sell your hair straighteners
Yeah,
and like
and they were
some other
dodgy.
random stuff?
Yeah, I think there was some random. Yeah,
I just suddenly remembered it, and I was like, why did we do that? I mean, I think the obvious answer is for the
we
dollar
wanted
dollar bills.
money, but I don't think
Um,
we made any money either. Like I don't.
yeah, they didn't sell for as much as we thought they would. I don't think. I don't
No,
think we did the eBay thing very well.
I had a bank card and PayPal at 12.
Yeah, it was so weird. You were like the first person I knew our age who like had an actual proper bank card. I had one of those like savings cards. So like
Yeah, but
you
that's
could
a
only use it
normal
at a
thing
cash
to
machine or
have.
something. And that was like not, but now it's not. Like now getting a debit card that young is like normal.
Yeah. Well, I guess because so many
We
like
were in that
I
like
found.
middle bit.
Yeah, I found it weird recently. Like some places won't accept cash. Like we
Mm.
went to Tim Hortons a couple of days ago, and
Oh, really?
the drive-through, and they wouldn't accept cash. And it's happened a couple of times now, where even like smaller shops have been like, "Oh no, we don't accept cash." I've been like,
Mm.
"Oh, it's like I know it's going that way, but I feel like it's gonna happen sooner, like than we think. Like how
See,
cashless."
part of me is like glad because I don't take out cash enough for like so I don't ever really have cash on me. So like, if someone's like, oh, you have to pay in cash, I'm like, well, I've got none, so I'm going to go find a cash machine now.
Yeah.
So for me, it's quite useful. But then again, there is a part of me that always does like the kind of physical money kind of thing from a. I don't know. It makes it more real, doesn't it? It's like it's not just numbers on a screen. It's actual something you can
Yeah.
hold.
I like having cash in the sense that it's not real money in my brain.
Mm.
Like, if I, like, in my bag, I might have some change and I can spend that, and there's no guilt because I consider my money being what I have in my bank account.
Yeah,
If that
that's
makes
true. You
sense.
don't. The number's not going to go down. You can spend 20 quid or whatever, and you're like, well,
In
I've not spent
change,
any
yeah,
money today.
exactly. Yeah,
I feel that. I feel that.
I've like made if you're watching on the YouTube, um,
Sweet Lord.
I was gonna say on like the video side of things. I don't know what I was gonna say. I fucked it anyway. Today's gonna be one of those episodes. I'm really tired. I don't
Me too.
like. We had a relatively late night, I guess, but I don't even remember what I was doing yesterday. But I'm yeah tired and my brain's mushy. What I was gonna say was that like I'm trying to put the pillows up the back of the bed so I'm not like slouched speaking to you guys.
Do you want
And
me to give
because
you a moment here? Do you want to sort it out?
um yeah, you talk to me about why you're tired.
All right. Well, let's let's actually go. All right. Let me go back to the eye test thing because it kind of feeds into it. I think. And maybe it's a sign of like my tiredness. So I went to get my eyes tested on Monday. Um, and they have got a little bit worse again. So I will be getting some new
Oh
glasses,
my
which means I have to
god.
do some. They're like very slight. They're at that point where they're not concerned about the fact it got a little bit worse. It's what they would expect, but it's not like extreme. Anyway, that's slightly worse. But that's okay. So I need to go and actually buy some new glasses. Um, but we did the test and everything, and they had like they had an extra. They basically there's like a billion different tests you can do now, so that was good. But then at the end of the tests, the guy said, "You're free to go," and I heard, "You're free to go," and even though in my brain I knew I hadn't paid yet, and I knew I needed to pay, the guy saying you're free to go, it just I guess I just wasn't thinking, and I just so I just walked out, and I actually drove to the other side of Milton Keynes. I actually fueled up on the way. I needed to fill up on fuel, so I got some fuel. I
Oh
went to
my
do some
god.
things. I looked at my phone, and I got a missed call, and I was like, "Oh, that's
Oh, that's so
odd."
embarrassing.
And it suddenly hit me when I was like, "Oh, sweet Lord, I
But
didn't
isn't it
pay."
like 20 quid or something?
That's the issue. Like, it was only like 25 quid in the end.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I was trying not to pay, you know? I was not
Yeah.
deliberately trying, like, I didn't have any, but there was something about him saying, "You're free to go," that for some reason my brain just wouldn't hold on to the idea that I had to pay.
Yeah.
Suddenly, I was just like, "Oh, well, I'm free." It's like when someone, if you're in an exam where and someone says, "You're free to go," you just think, "Oh, I'm done."
Yeah.
You know, you don't. So I just, being told that, my brain was like, "Oh, yes, okay, fine, cool, see you later." Walked straight out. Um, so anyway, I had to go back and I had to pay, and I was quite embarrassed. I was like, "Oh," I went, "Oh, don't worry, don't worry." But I was obviously crippled with embarrassment. Um, but I think that's a sign that of like the tiredness I've had this week is that my brain is just not functioning properly. It
Yeah.
won't do, and like I have been working some quite late nights this week. Um, like I've definitely worked later than I should have worked.
I
So
get you.
what I was working on, I was just like, I just need to get this done. I just need to get this done. It's like something takes over in my mind that's like, I'll just do it. I'll just finish it off. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Um, I'm my own worst enemy, really. Like my sleeping has not been so good this week anyway. I just been a little bit messed up with some like, yeah, those weird dreams, like surreal ones that just leave you waking up feeling more confused rather than refreshed.
Yeah, I've
So I'm
definitely
just
had that this week. I don't know whether it's to do with like change in temperature or something. That I've had like really
maybe
fucked up dreams.
They're
Like,
just
I
so
hadn't had
weird.
them
They're
in
not even
ages.
necessarily scary. It's just like weird and like they don't make any sense. It's almost like you wake up and you're trying to work out what the hell happened from some kind of logic. But sorry, I
I
interrupted
totally
you.
get that. No, I think it was last night I had a dream that, like, oh, I don't know if like, Pierce has been, it's saying it out loud, it sounds so weird, like, squirreling away all of our scissors over the years. Like, whenever we'd lost scissors, he had them stored, and then I walked into a room and there was just all these scissors. But I don't know why, like, I hadn't used scissors. I hadn't, like, there was no reason for it, but I remember being really angry that he'd hidden these scissors,
To
and
be
there's
fair,
like
that would be
50
legitimate
sets.
anger.
Yeah, there was like 50 pairs of scissors just chilling. I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
What was his
Um,
reasoning for it?
I woke up. I woke up. It was,
Oh, we'll never know.
just like, I opened the door. I was like, what? And woke up. Um, yeah, I think half my issue is like Pierce stays up later than me, and he's so fucking noisy. He goes, like, he just to put it into context. Like, he always be like, "Oh, Cat, you're being dramatic." Bear in mind, I sleep medicated. Like, it's not. I'm
You
not a
do.
light sleeper, so like
As we
I'm like
worked out last week, you are a medicated insomniac, and I am
an
unmedicated.
unmedicated insomnia.
I'm wild.
Um, Basically, Piers decided to take apart his PlayStation, in the middle of the night,
Why?
and had troubles putting it back together, probably because he was tired, and so was huffing and puffing a lot. Um,
Why was he
yeah,
taking it apart? What?
I this has caused tension in the household. Not anything, like, we haven't argued properly about it, but it's caused tension in the household this week. So basically, he's decided that he's going to start playing like his PlayStation games because he's played Xbox so long.
Alright,
And he moved the PlayStation from the bedroom into the living room.
okay.
Um, and turns out, so we'd use the PlayStation for Netflix and stuff. When you use it to play games, it is so loud. The fan is ridiculous.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so he tried to take it apart to see if he could
Make it
work out.
quiet.
Yeah, and to be fair, it is now quieter. Like, before, it was like you had three air cons and five fans in the room. It was
Yeah.
like just pure white noise. And I said to him, I said, look, um, he goes, oh, is the noise, like, I think he said, is the noise too much? And I said, oh, I'll put it this way, like, either you're gonna have to get a new PlayStation, fix it, or I can't be in this room with you, like, doing work. I'm gonna have to sit in the other room. Um, it was just driving me, like, the thing is, it wasn't just the noise of the PlayStation, it's the noise of the game. And then
Mm.
sometimes Piers will like watch a video as well. So there's like three sounds going on. I was trying to write a job application, and I was like, I struggle with focusing at the best of times. This is not the environment I need to be in. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like, I think it upset him that I went and sat in the other room. Um,
Oh.
so then he was trying to resolve it by fixing it in the middle of the night. So it's like, it's coming. I can't shout at
It
him, but
comes
I
from
did.
quite a sweet place because it's like he
Yeah,
wanted to like have you in the room, so he was trying his best to make it work.
it is so sweet. But I did say to him in the morning, because I was sleep deprived, I said, why the fuck didn't you do it in the other room? Like, why? Like, why couldn't you have done that in the? And then he decided to take. He's just been taking stuff apart this week. He also took apart an Xbox controller that's been broken for like 2 years, and he took that apart yesterday afternoon, and he did that at the dining table, which was good. So, but yeah, and then,
Oh
oh,
god.
he said after he'd put the PlayStation back together, he said, oh, I was quite hungry and I couldn't be bothered to make something at that point. guess what he eats? Like next to me and open and opened
Just eats a massive bag of Doritos.
popcorn.
Oh no.
And he said like, "Oh, there's no quiet way of opening a bag of popcorn, so I just had to go for it." And
He's
he's
right.
also,
There is no quiet way of opening a bag of popcorn.
yeah, I do like we've all
That's why you
been
don't
there.
open a bag of popcorn.
Yeah. And then he's got Bob's Burgers on, and I've woken up about 5 times at this point, like, but in like a zombie state is what I'm gonna call it.
Mm.
Apparently, I rolled like I was lying on him or something when I'd fallen asleep. But apparently, I looked up when he opened this bag of popcorn, like stared into his soul, glared at him, and then rolled over to the other side of the bed. It was like your unconscious state knew that I was eating popcorn and you were mad about it.
I love that. That's entirely believable.
It just, yeah, and he did a very good impression of like me with my eyes. And the thing is, I would say, no, 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 I'm sure it's not that severe. My little sister does the same thing. She like
Hmm.
sits bolt upright, like she's possessed, and she just starts talking random shit and then
Hmm.
goes back to sleep. It's quite
I've been known to do
disturbing.
that.
And I do it quite, but then he goes, "Oh, I'm not that noisy." He like walks in the room, he falls over about 5 things, and then like changes. Like you know how when you change programs, sometimes the volumes are really different. This week I took out all the crap out of the spare bedroom, including the spare beds. So I
Hmm.
can't even ditch it. If I went into the other room, he'd be upset as well.
Oh,
You take it personally, and he'd say he wouldn't be would. So
he's too sweet.
yeah, this is a downside to having a partner. It's not some. There are some good things about being single. You don't have yourself and somebody else waking you up.
It's true. The only reason I wake up is because of my own disgusters, and that's a different thing.
Yeah,
But I
and the
definitely do
dogs.
sleep talk. I definitely sleep talk.
Have
I'm
you
terrible
like
for it.
had encounters with your sister, like sleep talking or anything?
No, so apparently when I was very young, I used to sleepwalk.
Oh
And
my
like there was
god,
one
that's
time
so
I literally
scary.
walked to the top of the stairs. And I was just stood there. And then my dad came to the bottom of the stairs and just saw me stood on the top step, just kind of like wobbling a bit.
Oh my
And
god.
he basically came up and he was just like, "Let's go back to bed. Let's get back into bed." Um, so maybe even at an early age, my body was like, "This world is, I'm not okay in this world. I'm gonna no."
I'm gonna yeet myself down the stairs in my unconscious state.
Exactly. But I don't think I haven't really slept walked since, but I have definitely just like I've recorded it a few times of where I've had this app that records and it like in the middle of the night you'll just hear me like move, say like a garbage sentence or two, and then just go back to sleep. And it's the most ridiculous thing. It doesn't make any sense. I don't think I've ever had. I think the closest I've come to anyone, I think, being aware of it is when like we were younger and we had like a sleepover kind of thing.
uh,
Um, and I said something like a club card or something. And I was
You're
like,
such an
"Oh,
old man.
I need the gotta get the club card points and nothing else." And like the people around were like in the morning like, "Why the fuck were you talking about club card points last night?" I was like, "Oh, I couldn't say, no clue." I think we are like 14, 15 at the time, so it was like
Oh,
I didn't even
okay,
have a
you
club
weren't
card. I
like
didn't even
8,
understand it. I
yeah.
was baffled by the concept of it. So they're just weird random things come out, but that's just my life, really.
Like I find my one of my cousins sleeps with their eyes open. That is
Oh,
fucking should be illegal. Like,
oh,
oh,
that's terrifying.
like it's proper freaky. And then
I'd have to buy them an eye mask or something and be like, you should wear
yeah,
this.
oh no. Um and then Maddie, she does the same thing as me. She like bolts upright and starts chatting shit and then rolls over again. I've fallen asleep like I've when I was a kid I slept walked. I think the only time I slept walked was if I needed the toilet, and it was
Mm,
like it wasn't fully sleepwalking because I was like in a groggy like zombie state. But I once my mum found me. I woke up to my mum, I think, calling my name or something, and I was on.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
Bless you. That's so aggressive.
Oh my god.
I was on the toilet with my pajamas on top of the toilet, like the toilet lid. So thankfully I didn't pee. Otherwise that would have been.
That would have been messy.
Yeah. And guys, like when they're drunk, do you have this? Because I know a lot of guys do, where they pee in their wardrobe or like pee in the shoes and stuff like that.
No, I've never done that.
Yeah, like I find it. I remember this guy came in who was quite sweet into the pub, and he was like, "Oh, I'm in the doghouse." I was like, "Why?" Here's my. I pissed on all my partner's shoes. I opened the cupboard when I was drunk. And I was like, what? So you thought you'd make this better by going back to the pub?
Yeah, exactly. Like, maybe that should be a lesson. I feel like if you end up peeing in your shoes or your partner's shoes or something, you probably should never get that drunk again. Like, not until you've worked out why that happened and made sure that it can never happen again. Maybe you need to like buy a kind of locked cabinet where you put the shoes or something just so you don't do it again.
I think like the thing that hurts my brain is so the guy goes and he opens a door, unbuttons and
Yeah, unbuttons, yeah.
pisses. But where in the routine, like because you're talking about sort of muscle memory, surely like routine is typically, I guess they use like urinals, but would be to lift the toilet seat.
Well, you think so,
there's a
but
bit
I don't know if
more.
you've seen some guys. They don't necessarily again, this goes back to last week's discussion about men's toilets, but some men I feel like do, as soon as they've opened the toilet door, they're already unbuttoning. And it doesn't really, if they start by the time the toilet seat's up, then that's great. If they haven't started by the time the toilet seat's up, oh well. It'll be in a general direction of the bowl. It will be, most of it will end up in the bowl, but there's always going to be a bit of, splash on the wall here, kind of a line where you've whirled it around a little bit. It's all, to be clear, I don't condone any of this behaviour. Men, come on. In the bowl, please, thank you. Don't pee on the toilet seat. Someone did at work this week. It was disgusting.
Ugh.
I nearly sat down on
But then why
this
not
wet
wipe it if
toilet
you've
seat.
had a little accident? Then why not
And I was
fucking
like,
wipe it?
right, it happened. Fair enough, you had an accident. First of all, you should have lifted the toilet seat up. I don't know why you left it down. But secondly, come on, don't leave it like that. No one wants to see that. No one wants that.
What gets me as well is when people leave a toilet in a state, they must make sure that there's nobody else in the bathroom that's like going to like go directly after them. Because like say you've left a turd on the floor or like pissed on the,
really
like,
disgusting.
which I've seen this this shit literally happen, or like piss up on the seat or whatever, like, or just leave bloody sanitary towels or tampons or whatever, or no, whatever the like situation is. Like the person has got to be confident that they're doing that and walking out without anyone seeing them. Because if they walk out and someone walks in, they're going to think, well, you wouldn't have walked in there and gone to the toilet with a turd on the floor, would you?
Exactly.
So there is like a conscious thought to it as well. Like, yeah.
No, definitely. Toilets are disgusting in generally speaking. Pretty awful.
Yeah.
Public toilets really make you lose faith in humanity because people do things in there and you think, is this how you live? Is this what you think is acceptable in life? You just kind of leaves you kind of confused for a little while, I think.
Yeah. I was thinking about different toilet stories and I just thought I don't want to put people through them.
No. And yet we seem to have done it now for 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. Toilet talk with Preston and Payne.
Yeah. Well,
I'm now in pain.
That's an interesting moment.
Oh, did you see? I tagged you on a TikTok this morning. Sorry, just random one.
Well, I haven't seen it, but I tell you what, I'll look now.
Okay, there might have been two, but there was one that I'm thinking about now, which is kind of comes off of you talking about your eyesight and your
Oh dear.
headaches. Do you have any announcements or anything that you can talk about while I find it?
Um, hmm. What happened this week? What happened this week? Not really. Um,
I sent it to you on Facebook. Did you get it?
oh, okay. Um, Let me find it. I was gonna say we can come back to it just after I've seen these. Your graduation, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
just completely forgot about it. Okay,
to
bear with
be
me.
honest, it it was pretty much identical to my undergrad um graduation because they're only a couple of months apart. It was the same video. There was one or two of the same sort of speeches. There was like a guest speaker who um is a rocker who got an honorary doctorate.
Oh,
And
very nice.
his speech was good. And yeah, like there was a couple of, like it was really nice. It was just for me, it was more about catching up with everyone because I hadn't seen some of the guys. Were all quite spread out, so it was nice to have everyone back together again.
Yeah.
Um, like my favorite lecturer, like well, I think all of our favorite lecturers. She was she was abroad, so we were a bit sad that we didn't get to see her. Um, we had so I had brunch with my family, and then we went to a pub afterwards, and sort of Barbie went for dinner with her mum, and I don't know if Abby went. Yeah, I think Abby went for dinner with her parents, and then they all came to the pub after or something. Can't
Oh,
quite remember. Ed had to leave early, but yeah, we all like had a catch up, and it was just like it was just really nice. It was just like a little day out. It wasn't a huge like a big deal. Steve got emotional. Oh my god.
oh,
He starts fucking crying to put sunglasses on. I was like, sort it out. He's
oh.
like downing prosecco. And we were like, Joe, you're gonna have to drive home. Steve is definitely over the limit. She's like, so she didn't
Oh.
drink, but you know when you're like, get a grip, like get get a grip. We were all just looking at him like, sort it out.
I'm just sat here like, that's quite sweet, really. And you're just there going, get a
No,
grip.
it was just like it wasn't in the ceremony or anything like, or it was just really random. He just sort of went meh.
Oh, I mean, I feel like that's me on a daily basis, you know?
And I was like, Steve, what's up? He goes, it's just sad. And I was like, what?
What's sad? What's...
What's sad? And then he went, Peg, shut up.
Oh, Peg, don't you
Um,
start. Come on.
it was a bit random, and Joe was like herding him away, like just.
Joe's like, he does this all the time. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, to be fair, it was he started he was saying some random stuff, and then I think I realised it was because he'd had a bit too many bubbles,
Mm.
just really random, and it was very much like, oh yeah, he's left the village, like he's allowed out once every 5 years, like all the
True.
all the emotions and experiences were sort of hitting him all at once because
Well,
he
I
doesn't go
enjoyed it
out
when
a huge
we
amount.
went to see Coldplay. I turned up at Cats, and Steve introduced himself to me, and I was like, Steve, we've met before.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm Steve, and I was like, I know who you are. I know who you. We've met before. You know, we've met. And he was like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think he knew that he'd met you before, but I think because he
It's
hears me
just in
talk
case it
about
had
you
been
quite
too
a
long.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I talk about you quite a lot, so he knows a lot about you in theory, but then I think in
Sweet
practice
Lord
he
above, what
doesn't.
are you saying about me?
What do you mean?
Don't tell
Oh,
him all
I
the
think
stuff.
oh yeah.
God, I'm
He
unhinged. I don't need him knowing everything about me.
I don't like I think he thinks the podcast is like us chatting about sex or something, so I've told him not to listen
Oh
to
yeah, this
it.
podcast definitely has never been us chatting about sex.
But like, I think he thinks it's something dodgy because I'm always like, you can't come in when we're recording. You know, you're like, it's not dodgy. It's like,
It is dodgy.
you know, privacy. You need to watch
dodgy.
this TikTok. Don't do
I will.
ASMR. It's so dodgy.
I just really think that the
Focusing on
world
my
needs to know that
dirty
it is a
book.
little bit dodgy. Bear with
Dodgy
me here
'cause
because
we're
I've
in it.
managed to break me. Yeah, it's true. Gonna make jokes that were terribly inappropriate. Okay, let's go. What is this? Symptoms I ignored. Alright, fine. Okay.
Sorry, I just didn't laugh.
Symptoms I ignored. Yeah. About my brain tumor? Cat, what? No,
Sorry.
no. Okay, let me take you through this TikTok, everyone. Right. So this TikTok is a guy saying symptoms I ignored about my brain tumor. Now, buckle in because you're gonna think this is about me. Constant headaches, vision problems, personality and memory changes, increased anxiety and depression, excessive weight gain, tired all the time. Now, I
You don't
personally
have the
feel like I've
excessive
lost
weight
weight
gain.
recently, but that's okay, Kat. Why don't you just
This
hit me
is
where it
why-
hurts?
This is why when I tagged you in it, I
Which I
just
can now see for
quoted-
some reason.
Yeah, I just quoted the constant headaches because I knew you were gonna comment on the excessive weight gain.
What? I went through it, and that's what. Now, to be fair, I will, in my defense, say some things.
Have you been checked for a brain tumor?
I'm not sure that my headaches are constant, although I will give you that they're frequent.
Okay.
I'll allow that one. Vision problems, I'm short-sighted. And I've been short-sighted since year 3. So I must have been about 7 years old when I first found out that I was short-sighted. And I'm 23. So I'm not sure you can go for that one.
Okay.
I'm going to rule that one out. Personality and memory changes. My personality has remained very much constant, I'll have you know.
Yeah.
I was a miserable bastard before, and I'm a miserable bastard now.
No, it doesn't mean you have all.
But my memory has fallen off a cliff. I'll allow you that one. In the last 5 years, my memory has got significantly worse. Increased anxiety and depression. I'm not sure if it's increased. I think I'm just giving it more attention these days. I think I'm just accepting it rather than pretending it's not a reality. Excessive weight gain. Well, I thought I was doing fine, but
You're doing fine, Pip.
Thanks, Kat. Tired all the time. I got no justification for that one. That's just a reality of life. But I really think you should be less worried about the concepts that I'm about to tell you I have a brain tumor.
Okay.
I think you're worried that I'm going to suddenly die.
You collapse and then they take you in and they're like, yes, you have a big fat brain tumor.
It's
Did you
very
not
possible that they
experience
could
any of
discover that I
these?
have a brain tumor, but I think what's more likely is that I suffer with migraines. I'm short-sighted as fuck. I've not got excessive weight gain. And some of the other things are happening,
You're
but I don't.
depressed
I
or
definitely
anxious.
don't think I have a brain tumor. Don't worry. Take it easy. It's okay. Please let me set your mind at rest. I don't.
Question.
I think it's a. Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah.
If you found out that your anxiety and depression was caused by a brain tumor, would that be a
Yes.
relief or a negative? Because you have a potential cure, but then the potential cure is the treatment could end up being fatal.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. My initial thought would be, so you're telling me that for virtually the last
Lifetime.
13 years at least, I've had a brain tumor, which is causing. I'd be like, I think you probably want to check again there, Doc. That, or it's there and it's clearly not causing me any other problems apart from the big sad. And I'd probably just think I'd probably give it a name at that point. I think I'd be like, yeah, it's just Sam or something, you know.
That's not very threatening.
Sam the tumor.
Sam is quite friendly.
Yeah, well, I
But
think at that point, if it's stuck around for 13 years plus, it's almost like the longest friend, one of the longest friends you've ever had, isn't it, really?
oh
Like,
my god.
it's not really done too much. You're coexisting quite well. I think if it was able to sit there and not, just stay as it was, um, I think I could become quite friendly with Sam. So, yeah, I think we could do that. I'd probably try and get him removed. But having said that, because
Yeah.
I guess there's always the potential that Sam could turn evil and then destroy me. Um, but then, yeah, I feel like I'd always have a soft spot in my heart for Sam. I'd always kind of miss him. I think I might start referring to my anxiety and depression as Sam from now on. Because I think that's going to
Sam the
really just give
sad.
you, like, you're going to be more on the edge than you already are if I keep referring to Sam.
Sad Sam.
Yeah. Sam Sam from now on will be used to define the mysterious cause of my migraine, short-sightedness, astigmatism, tiredness, poor memory, anxiety, and depression. And I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, Sam's acting up again. And I'm gonna watch as your eyes widen for a second and go, fuck me, this is it. He's finally been taken over. And I'm gonna look at you in a way that says, I'm fine. If we find out one day that I have had a brain tumor, this is gonna be really, this is really gonna shoot me in the face. It's the first thing you're gonna say is "I told you so." You're not gonna be compassionate about it. You're gonna hit me with "I told you so." You're an idiot, and then I'm gonna be like,
You're like,
"Look,
you could
we
have
don't need to
survived.
talk about this."
Although, like, I feel like you going to the doctors and be like, I think I have a brain tumor.
I'd walk
Like,
in, I'd
can
be
you
like, "I need to
imagine what
talk
they would
about
say?
Sam. I
Yeah.
need to talk about Sam," and they'd be like,
Just
"Who
send
the
you to
fuck is
psych.
Sam?" I'd be like, "Oh, Sam is what I give to you. It's the part of me that doesn't work properly." Yeah. Every time I find something in my body that doesn't work, we'll link it back to Sam.
Sam, your evil
Yeah. Chris, why
spirit.
can't you walk? Like, why do your feet, why do you walk on the inside of your feet? Oh, that's Sam. Yeah, Sam, yeah. Who's Sam? You wouldn't understand. It's too difficult to explain to you. Right. Well, if you have any questions for Sam, dear listeners, let me know. Send them in, and next week we can have a discussion about. We can let Sam answer some of your questions live on the podcast.
This took a twist. It's all my fault.
This went from I don't have a brain tumor, I'm fine, to if I do, I'll call it Sam and just make it part of my personality.
This is a breed of mental illness.
When you talk to me, do you ever expect that you'll end up in half the places you end up?
Well, yes, because I expect the unexpected, but also no, because you can't expect.
Because you can never expect it. I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
I think I wonder sometimes whether I regret my decisions like that, and I think I don't, to be honest. I think ultimately it makes me laugh too much. So anyway,
Maybe that's Sam talking.
it could be Sam. I'll check him. I mean, Sam today I would say is Sam's doing all right. Sam's doing all right. He had a bit of a wobbly start. He didn't quite manage to wake up at the right time, which was a bit of an issue. Anyway,
Any road.
Yeah, let us know your questions for Sam. Kat, do you have anything you want to ask Sam right now?
No, I can't.
Well, you don't want to talk about Sam anymore, no?
No, I'll get emotional.
All right. Well, I don't. To be clear, I don't think I have a brain tumor.
If you say so, Sam.
Thank you.
I don't. In all seriousness, I don't think. I hope you don't have a brain tumor.
See, again, even in that, you're trying to sound like you definitely don't believe it, and your brain is telling you, "What if he does?"
I could imagine you being like you suffering for a long period of time, being like, no, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine,
Mm,
and then until something really serious happened, and then
mm,
you're getting checked out, and
mm.
then they're like, oh shit, no, this is actually this condition or
Yeah, and the first
this.
reaction I'd have is, well, this does make a lot of sense, to be fair, because now you mention it, and then I would list off all of the things. And they'd
Yeah.
say, why the fuck didn't you do something about this earlier? I'm like, well, to be honest with you, I did think it was alright. I'm still not convinced I'm not alright, and you're not just, I think you might be losing it a bit and going off on a bit of a weird one. But, I mean, it's interesting. And, you've raised a good point, and we can look into it some more. Anyway, should we talk about literally anything else?
Well, yeah.
Or
I
do you
don't
want to talk
know.
more about that? Do you want to dig more into it then?
No. I was just
Alright.
thinking about what else we had to talk about, but I was going to say we could always move on to the music section because I know we did a long one last week, so we could always do a slightly.
We did, and I have derailed this week quite well.
This has just been. We did say we were going to do like an important one at some point, but like
We did, but I mean,
just,
I'm not sure that we've done it this week, to be honest.
it's partially my fault because in terms of
You
like
said that I had a
scheduling
brain tumor.
with the podcast, so like we were meant to be recording next week, but I'm taking my sisters to Alton Towers, so
I can tell them the joke that I made that wasn't very funny once I'd made it.
oh
We were talking about private school kids going to Alton
sorry,
Towers and Fort Park,
I didn't
and
laugh when you said it.
I thought of a good joke, and I was like, this will be good. And I said, surely private school kids don't go to Alton Towers because it's like too common. Well, surely they'd go to Eton Towers instead.
Oh, I get when you first said it, I think it broke up a little bit because I thought you said, "Oh, I always thought Alton Towers was called Eton Towers." That was why I was like, "Oh, did you?" Like,
Right. I mean, you didn't actually laugh the second time either.
No.
That time
Yeah,
you
but
distinctly
I
didn't laugh
realised
either. Why don't you just kick me in the face today, Kat? Why don't you just kick me
I
in the
would,
face?
but you've got a brain tumor, so it's
I've
kind
got
of
a brain
immoral.
tumor. Look, Sam's real too, Kat. Okay. Sam has feelings too. Hi everyone, welcome to the World's Race podcast. It's
It's a good day to be alive.
Is that?
No.
Sorry, that's not the correct reaction.
Is that Sam?
That's
Sam.
not the correct. That's so correct. Sorry, you were saying it's a good day.
Is it? I think I need to. It's such a pretty day outside as well. It's like, there's a breeze.
It's not here.
Clear skies. I think I'm inside.
What are you
so I
banging
don't
on
know.
about? Over here, it's cloudy and miserable.
Oh no, it's Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's cloudy but sunny here. I thought the sky was blue, but I think it's just pure cloud. But like to the point that like the whole sky is one color. But yeah, no, it looks it's pretty outside here.
Last week was our first week back, and some people listened to the podcast and let me know that your new friends, your new fans.
Oh yeah.
They quite liked it because the words they used were, it was back to normal, cat shenanigans, back at it again. Because of the aircon incident, shall we call it?
Oh yeah.
Quite enjoyable apparently to lots of people. This week it's my shenanigans because of my ability to just continuously derail. Shall we talk about music and I'll try not to mention Sam anymore?
Why not? Why not? Stop being a depresso espresso.
It's Sam, I'm sorry. God. I lasted on about 10 seconds. I'll try not to mention Sam anymore.
No, because imagine
it's
if
just
you
Sam.
if imagine you go to your therapist and they're like, oh yeah, like what have you done? So oh yeah, I did the podcast with Kat, and we've come up with a name for my
You know all the
my oldie.
dysfunctional parts of me and my personality and my
That's
body.
not called Sam.
We've just outsourced it to a new person called Sam. So I'm fine, but Sam's a fucking mess. Sam has no redeeming qualities and only just a long list of dysfunctional kind of situations.
I can't stop fucking yawning. Maybe I
Well,
forgot the.
thank you. Why don't you just call me boring right now?
No, we've had this conversation. I think it's so weird when people like assume that yawning means you're bored.
I don't believe it for a second, to be fair.
I'll hit you up with
I think
"I'm
you
in
would.
love with you"
Yeah, that
in
seems counts against everything
1975.
I've said so far, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was really interested by you putting this in because
Yeah.
I didn't know you were big on the 1975.
Um. Yeah, I don't know if I'd necessarily say I was big on 1975. I have a friend who very much I would say that their love for 1975 is equivalent to my love for Coldplay.
Oh, that is extreme.
Um, and to be fair, I've been listening to them more since, trying to like, I don't know, just kind of check them out. And I quite enjoy it. To be fair, I quite enjoy it. And I quite like 1975. Yeah, what did you think of the song?
So it to me it sounds there's that like sound with some bands like 1975s you can't. A lot of other bands have taken sort of not ripped their sound off but taken influence by their sound, and I
Yeah,
I do like the fact it's very clear cut 1975s. I was more like interested in the music video than the song. I know that sounds like really bad.
oh, I've not
um
seen a music video.
yeah, because I don't normally watch the music video, but when I was reading a little review, it said about how the music video was mimes, so I then clicked on it.
No, that's not true. I have seen a music video because my friend shared it to me.
Ah,
I have
yeah,
seen a
and
music video.
it's like it's nice because it's black and white and it's just silly. Like it's just I don't know. There's bits where he's dancing with a girl and then she starts levitating. Is that the right word to use? And I don't know. It was just like silly, and you've got Phoebe Bridgers in at the um at the
Yeah.
end. I know it was just sweet, like the song combined with that little. It was like a modern day sort of black and white film. I found it kind of, yeah.
Yeah. I I really like, I said it to my friend at the time. One of the things I love about 1975 is that they're not ashamed of making the music that they want to make. They're very like, they have their sound, or like they have their kind of thing, but they're almost a bit Coldplay in that sense of like,
They
I feel
get
like it'd be
ripped to
quite
shit.
easy. Exactly.
Like I
It's,
was looking at the comments on I think Genius when I was looking at the lyrics to see what
yeah.
like people's interpretations are, and people are like, "Oh, I wonder if he's gonna come out and say this song was about drugs as well." And I was like, "Oh." And
Really?
then yeah, and then there was questioning. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh
Um,
God, yeah, look, there is a lot of things there. Oh
they were
yeah.
they were getting quite a lot of shit, and I was just like,
Oh.
I don't actually think like funny. The lyrics. I don't think anything is like that deep, which is part of the lyrics as well. Like,
No,
um,
and I think that's what I like about it. It's very like, um it's just a carefree kind of feeling of it. I think it's fun. I think it's just like, it's it's one of those songs that you can definitely have on in the car and just kind of like, just chill. It's nothing. It's not like it's just the most complex song ever. It's not like it's gonna throw some like really out there takes about love and things at you. And I like that. I like that it's just, it is what it is, and it doesn't necessarily try to be this massively insightful thing about
no,
the complexity of love and how much it hurts when someone does that really specific thing to you and how you feel in this way that no one's ever felt before. And that's fine. I think that's okay. I always will respect people, whether I like the music or not, for being making the music that they want to make. You
Yeah.
know, I think if you're making music you want to make and you're like happy, then more power to you. And people listen, and people do listen. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. They've
I don't
got
know
a
how many
huge fan
people listen
base.
to this song.
Well, and they were obviously playing Reading and Leeds Festival this year, like,
Yeah.
so
I
they're
mean,
doing well.
people do listen. It's one of those Coldplay things. It's like, as much as they get ripped into, people do listen to them, or they wouldn't be the size that they are. You know.
Yeah.
So even though the critics are quite loud, I think it's fun. I just can't help but smile. You know.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing I have for this song. So I
I
like it. I think it's really sweet.
I did see quite a few people in the sort of comments questioning what he meant by black girl thing,
Yeah.
but I don't, just from my perspective, I don't think there's anything to suggest that it was offensive. Like,
I don't think so. I think it's, to be honest, personally, I think it's almost recognizing privilege in a sense
yeah,
of, it's like you tried to tell me about your experiences and your what you've been through and the things you face, and I was like, yeah, I get that, which some people do. I actually think this is one of the things I've noticed with a lot of people who would tell you about being diverse and inclusive and things, is that they become almost, they they presume that they understand the entirety of,
yeah,
the black experience or something. And
yeah,
I can't say, and lots of people cannot, because we don't know fully what that experience is. So you have to listen always, and not just jump in and try and be a savior almost, because there are definitely moments where, I mean, I was talking to someone the other day who was, they're like, isn't that like cultural appropriation or something? And I was like, no. In this instance, it is. I think it was about, it was something to do with, it was the New Zealand military. I can't remember what it was, and it was some kind of music thing. Um,
right,
and they did the Haka, I believe.
yeah,
Um, and obviously, so there are some Maori in there, but it's not
yeah.
all Maori. So it's like, this person was like,
I
did
I
that,
was
is that
taught the
not a bit like,
hacker
could
when I
people
was
not say
there.
like cultural appropriation? I was like, well, no, no, it's not. I don't think, because
It's
they
appreciation.
are,
It's cultural
yeah, that's the
appreciation.
thing. I think it shows an acceptance and kind of taking it and appreciating it rather than appropriating it, because there were multiple Maori in there, and I think I said, I was like, well, I think if they had a problem with it, they would have said something. I think they would say something and say, I think this is wrong. It's not just appropriation. You don't want to go all kind of savior and jump in and be like, well, that's not fair because that's white people and they shouldn't be doing it, because that's not my thing. I need to listen to what they're telling me.
For sure, I think like when I was there, it was sort of very integrated. Like,
Mm,
we learnt the national anthem in English and in Maori. Like, it just was. I don't know. Like, I definitely, like, I was taught how to do the haka and stuff.
hmm
It was important that people knew about it there, and
Yeah.
yeah, like that was
That's the feeling
like,
I've always got, and I think personally, from an inclusivity one thing, I will always try my best to kind of fight for and make sure that people don't feel discriminated against and everything. But I don't want to be the kind of person who just jumps in and assumes that I understand the
yeah,
thing. And that's what I kind of get from this, is like, talking about it is like, oh well, I get that. I understand that. I'm inclusive. I don't exclude people, so I don't. I'm listening to this whole thing, but it's as if I already understand it, which a lot of people do have that kind of thing of, and they've made, they've
an
already decided, oh,
assumption.
I understand it. I understand the problem, so I don't need to listen anymore. But you should always be open to listening more and broadening your understanding, because I don't think you should ever assume you have a perfect understanding. You get what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think it's more recognizing the flaws that we have at our heart rather than being necessarily like a dismissive thing. I think it's actually being quite honest and being like, yeah, I fucked up.
For sure.
And I like
I
that.
agree. Yeah.
Sorry, I really went deep on that one.
No, as you should. As you should. I just love, like, halfway through I suddenly thought, wow, we went from goofing
Yeah.
off to suddenly like this, which is
It's a bit of a
the
whiplash
beauty of
moment,
this.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's the beauty of this podcast, I guess.
It is. You don't get that. We are a unique, special. We're the gold blend. You know,
The
we're
gold blend.
we're Yorkshire tea gold.
I was gonna make a cup of tea this morning and I was just too lazy to do it, and I really
Mood.
fancy one. I just need someone to
Same.
make it for me.
I'm actually in the same situation. I don't have tea this morning, but I do want tea. It's a mess. It's a mess.
Should we move on?
Let's talk about Rage by Rico Nasty.
I knew you were gonna go with that one. I just had this feeling in me that you were
I
gonna
wasn't
pick
sure.
that
It
one.
was gonna go. It was one of two. I was like, do I? But I think I will. Yeah.
To be honest, it probably makes like the most sense because it's the most out there out of like the others.
Yeah.
It's
I would
definitely
say so.
a different vibe, as you will explain now.
It's a
I
very
guess.
different vibe. So I think I almost had a moment of not quite on the same lines as you remember like a few weeks ago when we did I put the Harry Styles song in, and you
Yeah.
said about how it was like the first time where you'd not really felt it.
Yeah.
I don't think it was quite that level, but I was like, I think I was just one of those things. I was like, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not in the right headspace for this, or I'm not. Maybe it's just not for me. From that sense of, it was a little bit much for me. I think maybe when I was listening to it, but
Sometimes time and place as well. Like, was it?
I
Because
think
I only
so.
put it in last night, so I'm guessing you listened to it this morning.
I did, yeah.
So it would have
But I
been
don't think that's
quite
necessarily a bad
wake
thing, and I
up.
can appreciate the good part of the song, and I think it is a good song. I can separate the two from like, I'm not out here like I love this song, but also it's definitely a good song. I can separate the two. So
You know what? I feel like in time you will fall in love with
it
this
will
song a bit,
almost
because
certainly grow on me because, like I said, it is a good song.
I found this. It was last night, actually.
Oh yeah.
I was quite angry. Somebody had pissed me off, and like I'm being the bigger person. I'm not gonna
Good.
escalate any situation. Blah blah blah. But you know, when
Proud of you.
I sat in the room, shut myself off from peers, because the thing was it just came to me really randomly. Like, I just thought about a little thing that this person did, and I was gaming. I was like trying to have a chill time. Just suddenly I couldn't let it go, and I thought, actually, I don't want to be sat next to Piers while I'm like festering, because I don't want
No, that's fair.
to sort of take it out on him. And I haven't had that in a while, where I just like sat in the other room and I was like, sort of, I need something to listen to or something to do. Like, I can't just watch a program. I need and I was like looking at my knitting.
Your system.
Yeah, and I like typed in like angry women or something like that into a playlist, and I went through quite a few songs, and like a lot of them were breakup songs, and I was like, oh, this is not the vibe. And then this came on, and it was just hit the right spot. And like, the lyrics are not necessarily something I'm relating to at that point, but it was just the energy. The pure energy was just what I needed. And I like want to hear that with a fat sub bass. Like, just, I want to feel that. I want to be at a concert and just feel that anger and energy, and there's just so much power. And I found out it came out in 2018, and I feel like it's gone under the radar because Rico Nasty has a song that I think resurfaced on TikTok, which I have heard. What is it called? I think most people would recognize it. I think it's from this album as well, actually.
Oh, okay.
Bitch I'm Nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very popular song. So like it was kind of cool because now I'm gonna sort of invest in her and like listen to more of her music. But I think that song in particular, um, I don't think it's got a huge amount of streams in comparison, and I think that it might have been slept on a little bit. Like I feel like it's a good song and yeah, needs to be heard. It might be like a really good gym song, you know, when you just need you know when people are powerlifting and they're like, say tell me something that's gonna make me mad, so then they can like have the power. Oh,
Yes.
and the other sort of my last sort of point with her was that I was looking at her description and I thought it was whoever wrote this, whether it was her or like they just like it was so spot on. They put blending bubblegum and bullets like a hardcore Powerpuff Girl.
Very good.
How
I
beautiful
like
is
that.
that?
That's very
That's
cool.
just it's just so accurate. Just
Yeah.
like how to explain a sound, and I was just like, that's perfect. Sorry, I got a little bit passionate there. So
No, 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 no. Absolutely. It's very, yeah, I couldn't agree more. I love the energy that there is. It's so um raw. You know, it's like I get the feeling it's
yeah,
like not holding back, just getting that rage out of your system. Like you said, I think it really uh I've lost my train of thought.
no,
Um
yeah, I get what you mean. Like it's just a flow. It's like I can
yeah,
imagine it being done in like a couple of takes. You know, just it all comes out and I wanted to put that she was like it was an empowering song, but then I felt like that sounded really bad because it's like, oh yeah, empowering me to be angry. Like
but I think it's the confidence that's there, you know? It's the kind of like I think there is a like an element of just not hold it because it's that thing of stereotypically and like in the past in a quite a misogynistic way, like women are seen as being, you know, it's like you don't get angry, you should be calm and you should be
yeah, you're not allowed to be
composed and
angry.
you should be all these things. Actually, this, you know, very rightly so, tears that in pieces and is just open and honest and raw and angry and all those things, and it is empowering.
And there's little features actually sort of screaming in the background and stuff like
Yeah,
that, and that's quite um like you say with the women is sort of going against what you're taught to be like.
yeah,
um and there's a sort of very sort of animalistic noises, and I
yeah.
just find that so just like letting go, letting loose,
It's
feeling
kind of
yeah,
what's the word, primal, almost that kind of sense of
primal,
like
yes.
very like just um I want to say unhinged, but not in like a bad way,
No,
just
no,
very
like
like
in it, yeah, I think unhinged is a good thing
letting loose
sometimes.
kind of thing. I think it is
And
is really good.
her releasing this song meant that I could deal with my feeling of anger in a safe environment where I wasn't
Yeah,
going to harm anyone else or do anything that was gonna like make me regret my choices later on, like messaging someone or whatever. You
absolutely.
know what I mean? Like, it's like Slipknot or like heavy metal as a whole for me. It's so important because it means people can get out their anger, can get out their sadness and whatever else in a controlled environment, which is why when you go to a metal gig, people look after you because they're there to like get their feelings out, to have a good time, go mad. But they're not doing that at the expense of somebody else. They're there to, yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Sorry, little side one. But
no,
yeah,
100% agree, 100%.
I am going to hit you up with, is it Tyler or Thyla Amber Waits?
I was sure about this until you said it, and
Thyla.
then I immediately became unsure. I
Tyler.
would say Thyla.
Tyler. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if it was like a silent H because they needed to put that in the name so that it wasn't taken.
Well,
Or
we're
whether it's
almost certainly
Thyla.
wrong, but I think we roll with it, you know?
Thyla. Okay. Amber Waits. Um, sorry, I got so distracted by the name I forgot what I was going to say. Kind of reminded me a bit of Wolf Alice.
It does a bit, doesn't it? Yeah, that's true actually.
It's yeah. I mean, Wolf Alice has quite like a broad range of like soft to sort of more rocky stuff. So I think maybe somewhere in between. But I like the fact that the lead vocalist, she's got very soft vocals, but then the band are sort of very much rock. They're not, it's not
Yeah.
like heavy rock or anything, but it's still like a rock accompaniment. And I don't think you get that too much where it's like a soft vocal approach with a rock background. I think that's quite nice, especially like a female led
Mm.
sound as well, because I think if I think of rock, I think of like a textured voice, and I
Yeah.
think someone like Miley Cyrus would be great at singing rock because she's got that texture. And actually, that most I think most women like not struggle, but naturally you're not encouraged to have that really rough
Yeah.
textured sound. So it's nice to like hear that market of rock.
I hadn't thought about the Wolf Alice thing actually, and then when you said it just now, I was thinking, oh yeah, I do hear that. I hear that a lot actually. Like I hadn't put two and two together almost now. My main motivation was almost when I was picking songs, I had a few songs to pick from, but I was also thinking I want to pick. I almost went a bit like I did a bit of a cat, as I'm going to call it, in the sense of
I did
I want
think,
to find someone small, someone
yeah,
who I've never heard of before, and someone who it looks like most people haven't heard of before. And so I was going through and I was listening to some songs, and there were some good ones where I was like, this person seems to be blowing up a bit. No, I want someone who's at like an earlier stage almost than that. Like, and I just was looking through and I must have gone through loads of songs. And I eventually found this band, I found Thyla, and I was like, oh, okay, I like this sound, I like this vibe. And they've only got, I think, 12,000 monthly listeners or something. Um,
yeah, I did look, and because I did wonder, I thought I haven't heard of these guys, and I
no,
clicked on it and I was like, oh, I'm proud. And I was really glad actually, because none of the bands I picked this week are particularly small. So
no, I mean, that's okay,
I
that's
was
fine.
glad that
It's not like we
you've
have to
got one.
necessarily, but I do. And it's one of those things that I've realized doing this podcast with you that when we do that, I find these new bands and things that I've never even thought of listening to before you suggested them. So I thought, oh, you know what? Yeah, let's check these out. And I listened to quite a few songs of theirs, trying to pick the right one. And
Yeah.
to be honest, they're all bangers. They're all
Uh,
absolutely bangers. I think they've got a really great sound. I think the more that I think about it now, yeah, there's definitely a Wolf Alice element. I think if you like Wolf Alice, you'll also like these guys because they have the same energy to them. Definitely, I was almost amazed that they only had 12,000 like monthly. I was like, really, you guys? I feel like you guys are gonna go places like because you already have this great sound to you. You know, you don't sound like a band that only has 12,000. You sound like you would have good stage presence, and you've got these elements that are polished in the right way. They're not overproduced, but they're also done well. Um, yeah, I think they're really good. I think they're amazing.
and they're based in Brighton, which automatically means they're good
Are
people.
they?
Yeah.
I did not even
They're
realize that.
signed. I didn't know if this. I was really confused because I had seen on a review or something that they were signed to Easy Life, and I was like, what? Apparently,
Okay.
Easy Life have a record company, which I didn't
Oh,
realize, and they are a part of that. So I
that's
don't
a
think
weird
they'd.
little like circle moment.
Yeah, I don't think they're hugely like they're not the same. I'm classing the same genre as Easy Life and stuff, but um, if you like Easy Life and you like sort of soft rock, then that might be a jam as well, like a gateway. Because that's the thing. Whenever we talk about songs, because unless they're checking out the playlist, the listener isn't hearing the sound. So then you want to entice you
Give
like I
them
want to
a
entice
flavor
you
of it.
guys
Yeah.
in by saying, okay, well, if you like the 1975, you're gonna like this song, or you're gonna
Mm,
like just so you've got a starting point. Sorry, I
definitely.
don't know
And
why I
I
like
would always
explain that,
say
but
that like I always will listen to all the songs you put in. every time. Like, and I will always listen and kind of it's irrelevant to me whether or not I necessarily like it, because I can always appreciate good music.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's my thing, whether or not it's on my playlist necessarily, I can appreciate it. I would say always go and check it out, because the longest song we've got is 4 minutes 48. So it's not that long. You could do like a song a day if you wanted. Go and just have a listen, dip your toe in. If you don't like it, you've not really lost anything massive. It doesn't have to be a big thing. You can do something else in that 5 minutes as well. Check it out,
For
have a
sure.
listen, and if you like it, then you've discovered something new that you wouldn't have found otherwise. And if you don't like it, well, that's fine. Sometimes you have to try things that you don't like to know what you don't like. So
100%.
there you go.
I was just thinking, did we ever talk about Valerie and her making that music? Did we talk about that?
I don't think we did. Oh my goodness, I think that's such a...
That's like a halfway point in the music
S-
section.
Yes.
Yeah, we have some exciting news. I feel like I should
Yes.
sit forward for this. I should be not a lazy
It was
fuck.
awesome. It was awesome. I was sat here doing... I can't remember what it was I was even doing. And I looked at our TikTok. And it was something like, oh, Valerie tagged you in a thing. I was like, okay. My brain wasn't quite in gear, so I hadn't quite worked out who it was. And Valerie made a song, "Say the Word," and she created this TikTok, and I was like, "Oh, that looks like it could be." And then I was like, "That's us. That's us.
Yeah.
We're there. That's us. That's us."
I was so confused at the start because I thought she'd just like reshared, because I was it was actually when I was on the hen stag do, and I sort of like clicked on it, and I was like, oh, that's us. She shared like a clip from the podcast, and then I realized what she'd done. I was like, oh my god, like yeah, because you called me and were like,
I
you need to
called
look
you.
at that.
I think I watched it like 5 times before I called you, because I was so excited. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is awesome. This is so lovely. And like, I was just, it really, especially like the week I'd been having, I was really feeling a bit low. And that really like just put me on a different level almost of, just for a little while. And it was so awesome to have that kind of, because I don't necessarily think that either of us go into this with any expectation of, um, well, of anything, I guess, almost.
No, it's an
You know,
excuse for us to like talk to each other and talk about music and
like
introduce
you
each
said
other to
earlier,
new
it's an
music.
excuse for us to goof around, isn't it? To just
Yeah.
do a thing. And even to like the like title of it is like two Brit podcasters accidentally make the greatest song out of all time. And it's just these
And
like,
she's edited it so well.
yeah. And I was
I
like, to take those bits that we said, the bits that sometimes I say and I'm like, does that just sound like bullshit? Am I just chatting shit? But like, she pulled out all these things of like what we'd said about, a bit funky and like sassy and queer and not in a box. It's not a stereotypical white guy. Like all of these things that we picked out, I was just like, I was so happy that we seemed to have hit the spot when the actual artists themselves looks at it as like, yes, that's all of those things are how I feel about it. That's absolutely the one. It was such a good feeling,
yeah, for
to feel
sure.
recognized like that. And like, she even used it at the end to kind of talk about the fact that she had a new album coming out, I think.
Yeah, she did.
It just put me on a different, and she DM'd us as well. It was the sweetest thing. I hope I didn't I sent her back quite a long she
Did
sent
you?
sent us like a message, and I was completely gone. I sent her a really long message. I don't know if she ever replied. I think I might have overwhelmed.
Oh dear.
I really fucking went for it. Fuck me.
I'm so gonna
I
look at this now.
I was so I, I couldn't believe that it happened. So I just And it was like the fact that even it wasn't just, oh, there are these people who have made this thing. It was
Yeah.
so she put in the comments, these lovely people are Kat and Chris. I am obsessed with them. You should all join me in that. And like, this was everything I possibly want anyone to take away from the song. I didn't have words for the gratitude I feel. And like, but it's like even that thing of like these lovely people are Kat and Chris, and I was like, you've not just like, this isn't just like you've done a thing and oh, these people talked about me. You've actually like
Yeah, you
listened to what
know.
we did, and I cannot.
Oh,
It's the
no, it's
sweetest thing. It
awesome.
absolutely made my day. It still makes me smile now thinking about it. The first message she sent was like, first of all, I feel like we're all best friends because I've been editing that video for 6 hours.
Oh my
And I was
God.
like, ah! Ah!"
That's so.
Um, let me
You're
read you.
like,
Yeah, a
I
bit
can
from this
relate.
message was so this last bit. It's kind of psychotic musically, but again, I didn't think that people would notice that, and Jill did. And it's so cool, and your video really touched me, and everything you guys said is exactly why I made the song. And you're just so funny and sweet, and I'm just obsessed and grateful to you all for even just listening, let alone sharing and giving my favourite little brainchild such well rounded and in depth thoughts. Truly the sweetest thing on the planet.
Oh, that actually made me well up. And then I
Right?
got fucking beeped at by the. Oh, actually, I shouldn't shout
It's
through the
just the thing.
window.
And she was like, it's my favourite song that I've released. It's so important for me to make confident music for women and really anyone other than cis straight white dudes. And it's important to me to talk about sex and do it without shame. And the lines you all mentioned are my favourite lines, and it's just so crazy to watch. I felt like you were both really in my brain.
Oh,
And I was like, ah!
I'm
Just,
glad as well because when I applied to a job, um, they asked for 3 songs for what they thought would be good for an advert.
mm,
Um, and I sent hers in, and I was like, oh, like I wanted it to be people that I thought
yes.
were good people as well. Like I haven't heard anything back from those people, so
Basically, what's happening
but
is we are
I'm
continuing to
trying to
promote
promote.
Valerie. Hey,
Yes.
hey, Valerie, it's us. We still love you. We. I'm doing that message again. It just made you can see why I was so excited when I messaged you or called you. Sorry, I was like, you have to see this thing because it was
Yeah.
just insane to me that someone would really
I was
respect
literally
our
outside
bullshit.
on the at the marina, like
Yeah,
there's a cafe and bar. I was like watching it. I was like, took me a while, and I was like, oh my God, I see it. Like I see what's happened here. This is great.
yeah. I
Um,
normally I wouldn't have called you, but I just had to share it. So yeah. Anyway, I'm almost certainly gonna make this into a clip and tag her in it. So
do it, do it, my
yeah,
favorite little editor.
big love. I'm very. It's just
We
another one
love
of those
you.
like. It's like it's on the level of like the Jordan McCamper kind of like. It's like when someone you really love gives you something back, and you're like,
Or when
ah.
Sigrid liked the fucking.
When
I
Sigrid likes the
almost
thing,
caused
exactly,
Piers to crash the fucking car over that one. I like
exactly.
grabbed him. I was like, no, no, that's not real. That's not
Yeah,
Sigrid's account. And then.
a whole different level of just like, and for me, this was like on that level. It was like, ah, I was like screaming at the, and even this week, like we put the thing up and like, the Lana Lubani song from last week, she commented on our TikTok and like with like 3 green hearts, and I was like,
Oh,
ah, and Tiny Umbrellas like said thank you so much on like Instagram
oh,
and on TikTok, and I was just like,
I
it's
didn't
the
see this.
good
I need to check.
feeling of like just I'm glad that I get to listen to these songs, talk to you about them, share our thoughts about them, and then it gets back to these people and they know their music's being appreciated.
Yeah.
So whole
Yeah,
other
it's
level.
great having smaller artists. Like, it's just. Yeah, it's great.
Shall
What
I
song
hit
were
you
we
up?
on? Yeah. Yeah, hit me up.
Let's talk about Creep by Arleigh Parks.
Oi, oi.
She is
Sorry.
perfect for this cover.
We, yeah. Oh, and I did not realise that Arlo Parks like is hugely inspired by Radiohead. I did not.
Yeah, I've heard that, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't realize the Radiohead influence, and I get it. Like, I get it. It just, I think because they're such different genres, I didn't like connect. And then when I
Yeah.
did, I was like, oh, that makes sense. But her voice is just so sweet. It's such a like, it's such a contrast of having her sweet vocals and then that sort of like eerie piano, because everyone knows the piano
Mm.
for Creep. Like, everyone knows. So it's just, it works in some fuckery way that I love. Just
It's very like, because I mean, the song like itself is like a very like, how do I put this? It's not the right word I should use, but like psycho kind of song, you know?
yeah, it's
Um,
uncomfortable.
yeah, and like I think it works out because her voice is so sweet, but what she's saying is so like weird.
Messed up, yeah.
It's perfect because it completely captures that weird, uncomfortable feeling of like you sound so sweet, you sound so lovely, but the words that you're singing are so uncomfortable and unsettling that it completely captures the song, but also it's her version of it, and I really feel that.
Yeah, she's definitely made it her own, but then kept it like close to the original, which I think is a very hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Um, and it was like I've heard a lot of Arlo Parks' original music, and it was nice to
Mm,
hear a cover, because I think that like sometimes bands are either uh, only originals or only covers. I find like a lot with sort of upcoming like artists when I go to festivals, it's like, yeah, either you're a covers band or you're an originals. And if I think because sometimes the sets are so short, a lot of the time people don't have the opportunity to do covers. um and so when a band or an artist does a cover, it's really nice, like, to, sorry, places to
absolutely.
swat in. Yeah, I just think it's really nice. And yeah, I don't have a huge amount to say because everyone knows the song Creep, but it's, yeah, it's a really cool cover and
She does
check
a
it
really
out.
beautiful thing of it, and I definitely think as well it's like it's kind of like you said about the inspiration thing. Like you don't necessarily see the crossover between Arlo Parks and Radiohead necessarily, you know, like but I
No.
think it shows it's that like I suppose if you're influenced or inspired by someone, it doesn't necessarily mean that you sound even remotely the same necessarily. But it's like
Yeah.
it's something within what they do or something about the way in which they do like something that kickstarts something within you. So it's like, you know, you can't necessarily always see where the influence might come in until it's pointed out and then you're like, oh, you know, I get that, I see that. Um I think this is one of those examples of like, would you necessarily put Arlo Parks and Radiohead in the same thing? No, I don't think so. But would the ice cream van go past at the time that I'm trying to make a serious point? Yes, it definitely would.
I know, I just had that with the like delivery guy who was outside for like 10 minutes chatting to, I think, Steve or Piers. And then Piers walked into the house and the dogs were going mad. And then the ice cream van, I'm like, oh my god, you know, it's hard to make a serious
We
point.
just want to
We're near the
record
end.
one podcast, okay? Just one time. Fuck's
Stop
sake.
giving the children ice cream.
They don't need it. Tell them to go to the dentist. Anyway, yes, I agree. I think it's a perfect kind of like cover in that it's paying respect to the original and like um
Doing all the right things.
doing the right things, but also it's her own. She makes it her own, and her voice is, as we've said before, incredible. So I love it.
It's beautiful.
Hit
So
me up.
your last song is Ibibio. Oh my god, I was preparing to say it for like 5 minutes and then I fucked it. Ibibio. Electricity. Well, I mean, the thing is, like, we covered so much last week. I so I don't know where to start really. I looked at one of the reviews of this like song, but the album. I think the album's called Electricity, isn't it? Is that right?
Yes, I think it is. Sorry, the ice cream van's decided he'll start again. Because he couldn't just stop, could he? He couldn't
What a
drive away.
bastard. Anyway, I looked at
Sorry.
this sort of review
Yes.
and I thought, like,
Fuck off! Just fuck off. Go and delete yourself from existence. Bastard. No one wants your ice cream. Sorry. We were talking about electricity.
Please tell me you have your window open.
Where were we?
I was saying that, like, in a review, it said that they seem to compress the distances between traditional and modern sounds. And I get that. That, I think, makes a lot of sense with their, because you've got the sort of traditional sort of West African instruments, and then you've got sort of quite a lot of electronic sounds. And I haven't listened to a huge amount of their stuff yet. Obviously, we only found out about them a couple of weeks ago. But like when I was reading, they said they've sort of transitioned from, like, they've started using a lot more bass and electronic sounds. But even like, regardless of whether it's old material or new material, they focus a lot sort of around rhythm and keeping the groove. And I think that from seeing them live, that makes sense, because I felt like their whole purpose was to make you want to move, make you want to dance, and I'm doing weird hand gestures.
I always do the weird hand gestures. A minute ago I made a Venn diagram with my hands and it was absolute fucking cunt. What is... How? Drive away and never darken my door again.
You said
Fuck
that
off.
in such a posh way.
I can't deal. Like, what? It never makes this much noise. Oh my god. Right. Fucking
I
hell.
just imagine your dad like, oh, I've come home early from work. And you was like, fucking.
Swear to God. Right. Look.
Chris, I've got you an ice cream.
I'd be like, fuck your ice cream. This, yeah. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I like, even with their name, Ibibio Sound Machine is like, even though that you see the like fusion between the like West African kind of influences, but also the kind of Western like synthesizers and effects and all that kind of things, and it all like merges together to make this new thing. And I love it. I love the sound of it. You're right. It makes you want to dance. It makes you want to like get up and move around and vibe. And this was, I think, the song they opened with actually when we
Was it?
when we saw them. I think it was this one or another one, and I really thought it was incredible.
Yeah.
I think for me, yeah, it definitely like I think it really it reminded me of that. See, I kind of like in my mind almost went back to it a bit and kind of like I was just like living out, and I was like, this is so, and like to be able to actually see and understand more of the stuff behind it, like the lyrics behind it and stuff, without the rain falling down and like a poncho around my...
This is where Sam
You are having a fucking laugh, sir. You are the... I'm gonna That Rico Nasty song, I think, is gonna really come in useful in a little while. It's really gonna come in really fucking useful.
One song. We've got one song left.
I just love that I'll be able to take it home and listen to it in like fully, and I love the like in the chorus where it's got "Let me speak from the heart. Without love, there's no electricity," and I'm like, I like that. I like that kind of like that vibe of like, you know, if there's no love there, it's just that when you're like with friends or with a partner or with someone, you know, you get that feeling that is, you don't get it from other people. It's that feeling of like connecting with someone that you just cannot get anywhere else, and I love it. So anyway, if the ice cream van hadn't fucked it up, I would have told you that I love this song and I think it's great and I think the band is great. Sadly, the ice cream van fucks it up, and now I'm filled with a burning rage that I'll never be able to get rid of. Shall I hit you up?
Yeah, why
Yeah,
not? I keep
yeah.
yawning and
Sam's taken
playing with my
over.
pen. Sam's taken
Sam's
over.
fucking taken over now. Right, no, this song. This is Sorry to Your Next Ex by Hayden. Um,
Yes. Yes, it
Tell
is.
me about the song while I kill someone.
Panic. Um, so this is like a sort of feel good breakup type song.
Yeah.
It actually reminds me a bit of Justin Bieber, which I am not I'm not a believer. Sorry guys, sorry guys. Um, but this is like your little hit of Justin Bieber without it being Justin Bieber. That is my logic. But I just think
Oh,
the
yeah, I guess
whole
so.
the whole vibe is essentially like feeling sorry for your next ex because you were so good to them. You like um
Yeah.
they're gonna have they're gonna be humbled when they find out that not everyone's gonna put up with your shit. Like you were too good. You were probably suffering so they could have an easier time with it. And now
Mm.
the next relationship that they get into is gonna be it sounds really deep, but it's not. It's very like shout out to my ex little mix, like fun, cheery vibes.
It's
But
very like, I'm not gonna let you bring me down.
right. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm not gonna wallow over you. I'm just like, I know that I'm living in your head rent free. I know that I'm like, I am one of the best things that you could ever have had, and you
Yeah.
ruined it. And I know
And
that
having
every time, everyone you get with in the future, they're never really gonna be as good as me because I put up with a lot of your shit that I shouldn't have done. And it's like, you
yeah,
know your worth now. You know
that's
your like
what I was gonna
thing.
say, yeah. Yeah, just knowing your worth, being confident in yeah, in yourself. And I think if people going through breakups, there might be like a groveling stage where you want them back, and you have very sort of low self-esteem, and then hopefully it goes like full circle, and you're like, actually, no, this wasn't working out. This wasn't like what I needed. I was like, I might not be perfect, but I was definitely like as good as they could have got. But
Mm,
whatever. Um, and also, like a little side note that I put about the drums was that I feel like the the drums on it live would hit deep. Would
absolutely
just
slap.
yeah, yeah. There's just something in it that just makes me want to hear that like fat yeah fat drums coming
Absolutely.
in.
A good, like, yeah, a good mix. Like, it would just sound incredible. I agree. I agree. There are two bits that I particularly made me smile. So it was so told him I'm an asshole, say that I was greedy. I never got you off once, whatever makes you happy. And then, I hope you find a guy to fill the void, because you and me know you'll never last without a toy. And I was like, it's a little
Ooh.
dig, it's a little like subtle, like you might not necessarily think about it, but I like the element of kind of um it's almost like, well, I know that I'm the best sex you've ever had, and no one else
Yeah,
is gonna be able to, like, you're gonna be constantly telling people, oh no, I never, like, they never really made me feel good, because you'll always be thinking about how good I was. I just like that element of like sass and being able to like um yeah, own it, know your worth. I think it's that thing. It's like, you know your worth, and it maybe makes you feel a bit happy to know that you might be living in your ex's head rent free. To know that,
mm.
because I think we said before, it's like sometimes you think about a past relationship or whatever, and you get a bit sad because you think, oh well, you know, I remember how I felt, and I'm almost sad it didn't work out, or whatever, and all those kind of things. Like, it leaves its marks on you, leave scars that are going to remain. So maybe there's like a little bit of like perverse enjoyment at the idea that your ex is also sometimes thinking about how they kind of wasted the opportunity with you, how they didn't treat you right, and maybe feeling a bit of regret. I feel like that's low key. I think people might enjoy that thought a little bit, even if we shouldn't admit it, because we're like bigger than that. It is
Yeah.
quite nice to be like, I hope sometimes you think about what you lost, you know?
Yeah, I completely agree.
Sometimes you have those little feelings. It's fine, it's natural, it's human.
Mm.
Kat, you're kind of concerning me a bit. I don't know if you seem to be personality wise struggling a bit, and you're saying about being tired and you're a bit anxious sometimes.
I have a
Do you
brain
think you might
tumor.
have a Sam?
Well, I don't get headaches and I've got good vision, so I think I'm okay.
Alright. Well,
Shall we conclude this
we
week's
can.
podcast
I
then?
didn't if you had anything else to say. I was almost kind of interested to see if I left you what you would say with your brain being the mush that it is right now.
Don't put me through that. I don't know what it is. There's this like the issue I have is I'll feel so tired, but I know I won't go to sleep because
Mm-hmm.
unless I take a tablet, I won't go to sleep. So
Mm-hmm.
there is a good chance I'm going to spend the rest of the day trying to accomplish things and then getting frustrated with myself not being able to. When the truth is, I just need to go to fucking sleep.
Well, it's Sunday. It's the Lord's Day. Yeah, it's a day of rest.
True.
And you should be kind to yourself. And you should all be kind to yourselves too if you're listening to this. You might have a bit of an off day, but that's okay. You might have an off week. You might have an off month. These are all fine and okay because you'll be okay. You will. I know that. I believe that.
And if you're not okay, then the chances are you're dead and you can't think about it. So
Jesus fuck. I wondered how you were going to ruin that moment, and that's how you did it.
I thought I'd try. Right.
Jesus fuck. If you're not okay, that's okay, because we're all going to be not okay together. Don't worry about her. She's a
We'll all
fucking
die
mess.
one day.
We'll all die. In the long run, we're all dead. So, on that happy note, I'll say we love you, and we will
We
see
love
you next
you.
time.
We will see you next time. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.